Have you ever felt different? Like you were born to observe more than to speak? Like you live in a world few people understand? If so, you might belong to a very rare category of personalities, those shaped by profound self-awareness, deep intuition, and extraordinary psychological depth. In today's video, we dive deep into the mind of Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who transformed how we see human personality. We're about to explore 8 signs that reveal whether you have a rare personality type, something only about 1% of people share. So grab a notebook, or just sit back and reflect. Because if even 3 of these signs resonate with you, you might not just be rare, you might be one of the deepest souls alive today. Number 1. You feel like an old soul. Have you ever felt like you're living in a world that just doesn't quite fit? Like you were born into the wrong time, the wrong place? Maybe you've been called an old soul, and maybe you've never quite known what that really means. Being an old soul isn't about age or acting like a grandparent when you're young. There's something deeper. There's a feeling, a quiet knowing, that you see life differently than most people. While others your age are caught up in social drama or chasing trends, you're the one sitting on the sidelines, quietly watching, thinking, wondering about things nobody else seems to care about. Have you ever found yourself staring out the window, lost in thought, while everyone else around you is busy scrolling through their phones or rushing from one thing to the next? That's the old soul inside you waking up. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, called this process individuation, a rare journey where your inner self starts to grow and pull away from the crowd. Most people live by following what's expected, the rules, the opinions, the easy answers. But you're searching for truth. You want to know what really matters beneath all the noise. Think back to your childhood for a moment. Were you the kid who asked the big questions? Maybe you wondered why people get hurt, or why some things in life just feel so unfair. While others were playing games or worrying about fitting in, you were already carrying a weight of understanding that no one told you how to handle. Picture this. A 10-year-old in a classroom, watching the rain fall outside, thinking about why people suffer or why the world seems so complicated. Maybe that child was you. And maybe, just maybe, that's why you sometimes feel out of sync with the people around you. As you grew older, that feeling didn't fade, it only grew stronger. You don't just want to skim the surface of life. You want to dive deep. Small talk? It drains you. But a real, honest conversation about life, purpose, or emotions, that's what feeds your soul. Sometimes it can feel lonely, like you're carrying a secret that no one else understands. People might call you intense or too serious. They might not get why you need time alone or why you seem so different. But here's the truth. There's nothing wrong with you. In fact, Carl Jung believed people like you are rare and incredibly important. It's the old souls, the deep thinkers and feelers who bring meaning to a chaotic world, who inspire change, wisdom, and peace. So if you've ever felt like you don't quite fit in, remember this: your depth is your power. Your quiet thoughts, your big questions, your gentle heart. These are gifts, not flaws. You're not lost. You're rare. And the world needs more people like you. Number 2. You're deeply introspective. Have you ever found yourself lost in your own thoughts for hours on end? Not because you're bored, but because your mind is constantly turning, reflecting, trying to make sense of everything around you? If that sounds like you, then you're likely someone with a deeply introspective personality, a rare gift that not everyone shares. Being introspective means you don't just live life on the surface. You dive beneath. You ask questions that most people don't even think to ask. Things like, why do I feel this way? Or what really matters to me? Or even, what is the meaning behind this experience? This kind of thinking sets you apart because it shows a natural curiosity about yourself and the world that goes beyond the everyday. Carl Jung, one of the most important psychologists of all time, believed that introspection is the key to understanding our true selves. He said that inside every person there's a whole hidden world, the unconscious mind, that holds our fears, dreams, memories, and desires. Rare personalities are often the ones who instinctively want to explore this inner world. They are not afraid to face their thoughts, even when those thoughts are difficult or confusing. You might notice that you prefer to reflect quietly rather than jumping into social activities all the time. This doesn't mean you dislike people. In fact, many introspective people have deep and meaningful relationships, but they need time alone to recharge and to process their experiences. Solitude isn't lonely for you, it's essential. This introspective nature means you often replay conversations in your mind. You analyze not just what was said, but the feelings behind the words. You think about your actions and wonder how you could grow or do better next time. It can sometimes feel like your mind never stops working, and that's because it doesn't. But here's the interesting part. Being introspective also helps you develop empathy. When you take the time to understand yourself, you naturally become better at understanding others. You sense what people are really feeling, even when they don't say it. This ability to connect deeply is rare and precious. At the same time, this constant self-reflection can sometimes make you feel overwhelmed. You might get stuck in your thoughts, questioning everything, or feeling unsure about what to do next. That's normal. The key is learning how to use introspection in a balanced way, not to get lost, but to guide yourself toward growth and clarity. One way to do this is by keeping a journal. Writing down your thoughts can help you see patterns and discover truths you might miss if you just keep thinking silently. It's like talking to a wise friend who listens without judgment. Many people with rare personalities find journaling a powerful tool to organize their inner world. Another sign of deep introspection is a love for learning, especially about psychology, philosophy, or spirituality. You want to understand the why behind human behavior and the mysteries of life. This thirst for knowledge isn't about showing off or being smarter than others. It's about seeking truth and meaning. If you're watching this and feeling connected to what I'm saying, take a moment to appreciate this quality in yourself. Being deeply introspective means you have the patience and courage to explore the depths of your own mind. You don't settle for easy answers, and that's what makes you rare. In a world that often values speed and surface-level interactions, your ability to pause, reflect, and seek understanding is a superpower. It allows you to grow in ways many never will. It also prepares you to face life's challenges with wisdom and resilience. So remember, your introspection is not a flaw or a burden. It is a sign that your personality is uniquely equipped to handle complexity and depth. And as Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes." You are on the path of awakening. Number 3, you struggle to fit into traditional roles. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, you just don't fit in? Like school, work, or even social groups seem designed for someone else. Not for you? If that sounds familiar, you might have a rare personality, the kind that doesn't quite fit the usual molds. From an early age, many people with rare personalities notice this feeling. Maybe you hated strict rules or routines. You felt out of place when everyone else followed the same path without question. You didn't just want to go through the motions. You wanted something deeper, a life that actually meant something. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, talked about this feeling. He called it being a misfit of meaning. It's not that you want to rebel for the sake of rebellion. You're not just a troublemaker or a rule breaker. Instead, you're searching for authenticity, something real, true, and personal. You want your life to reflect who you are, not what society expects. Think about this. Have you ever sat in a classroom or a meeting and felt bored, even frustrated? Not because the subject was hard, but because it felt pointless? Like everyone else was focused on getting good grades, making money, or climbing the social ladder, but you just couldn't care about those things? You might have wondered, is this really all there is? That feeling is actually a powerful sign. It means you're wired to think and feel differently. You don't just accept the surface-level answers. You want to know the why behind everything. Why do we do what we do? Why does society value certain things and ignore others? Because of this, you might have struggled to fit in during school or work. You might have found group activities draining or shallow. Small talk might have felt pointless. And that's okay. It's not a flaw. It's just part of your rare personality. This struggle to fit isn't just about being shy or introverted. It's deeper. It's about not wanting to pretend or hide your true self. You want your actions to match your values. You want your relationships to be meaningful, not just casual. You want a life filled with purpose, not just a checklist of achievements. This can sometimes make you feel lonely or misunderstood. You might wonder why you're different from most people around you. But remember this, the people who create real change, the ones who inspire others, often feel like outsiders at first. Rare personalities are often pioneers in their own lives. They refuse to settle for empty success or meaningless routine. They seek a path that reflects their inner truth, even if it means walking alone for a while. So if you've ever felt out of place, don't be discouraged. That feeling is a sign of something powerful. It means you're not just following the crowd. You're seeking something deeper, your own unique way of being. In this journey, it's important to be patient with yourself. Society moves fast, but your path is slower and more thoughtful. It's okay to question, to explore, and to take your time. You're not broken, you're rare, and that rarity holds the potential for great wisdom and strength. Remember, even Carl Jung himself felt like an outsider sometimes. He spent his life studying the hidden parts of the mind because he knew there was more beneath the surface, and so do you. Number 4. You're guided by intuition, not logic alone. Have you ever had a feeling about something or someone that you just couldn't explain? Like you just knew something was right or wrong, even when there was no clear proof? That's intuition at work. And if this happens to you often, it's a strong sign that you have a rare personality, one deeply connected to the unseen and mysterious parts of the mind. Carl Jung, one of the most important psychologists of all time, believed that some people don't rely on logic or facts alone to make decisions. Instead, they listen to their gut, their inner voice, or what he called the intuitive function. For these people, logic is only part of the story. There's a deeper sense, a kind of knowing that guides them through life. Think about it. Have you ever walked into a room full of people and instantly felt the mood or energy? Maybe you felt tension or sadness even though everyone was smiling. Or maybe you met someone new and immediately sensed something important about their character before they even spoke a word. Most people don't notice these subtle signals, but you do. You pick up on things others miss. This ability to sense things beyond what is visible or obvious is not magic. It's intuition, and it's powerful. It's like having an inner compass that helps you navigate the world. And here's the thing. People with this rare intuitive gift often don't trust logic as much because they know it's limited. Numbers, facts, and details can only take you so far. Intuition goes beyond that. It connects you to patterns, feelings, and truths hidden beneath the surface. Of course, society often values logic and facts more than intuition. Schools, jobs, and even social groups encourage us to prove things with evidence. But the truth is, many of the greatest discoveries, inventions, and moments of insight in history started with intuition. A scientist might just know where to look before they have any proof. An artist might create something that feels right long before they can explain why. Rare personalities listen to this inner knowing and trust it. Sometimes this can make you feel misunderstood. People may tell you that you're being too sensitive or irrational. They might say you need to think more logically, but don't let that discourage you. Your intuition is a strength, not a weakness. It's what helps you see the world in a unique way, notice what others overlook, and understand people on a deeper level. One way to develop this gift even more is by paying attention to your feelings and dreams. Jung believed that dreams are messages from the unconscious mind, another place where intuition lives. When you learn to listen to your dreams and feelings without judgment, you strengthen your intuitive ability. You become better at sensing what's true, even when your brain can't explain it yet. If you often find yourself trusting your gut, following your instincts, or feeling things deeply, you are part of a rare group of people who experience life differently. You see the world through a lens of insight that many never access. And that's something special. So next time you get that quiet inner nudge, don't ignore it. Take a moment to pause, breathe, and ask yourself what your intuition is trying to tell you. It might be the key to unlocking a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Remember, logic can guide your steps, but intuition often leads you to the path meant just for you. Number 5. You're drawn to shadow work. Have you ever noticed that you're not afraid to face your own darkness? That instead of pushing away your fears, mistakes, and painful memories, you actually try to understand them? If this sounds like you, then you might be someone who's drawn to what Carl Jung called shadow work. Shadow work is all about looking at the parts of yourself that most people want to hide or ignore. These are the uncomfortable feelings, the hidden fears, the angry moments, and the parts you might feel ashamed of. For many, this is scary and overwhelming. Most people try to avoid these feelings because they think it will make them weaker or unhappy. But here's the truth. Those who have rare and deep personalities don't run away from their shadows. Instead, they welcome them. They know that real growth only happens when we face our shadows head-on. Jung said that true enlightenment comes not from pretending everything is light and good, but by bringing the dark parts of ourselves into the light. Think about it like cleaning a messy room. If you just cover the mess with a blanket, it's still there, right? But if you pull back the blanket, see the mess, and clean it up, the room becomes truly clean. Shadow work is the same. It's about uncovering those messy parts inside us and understanding them. You might have found yourself doing this naturally. Maybe you spend time thinking about why you react in certain ways, or why certain memories still hurt after years. You might even journal or meditate to explore your feelings instead of distracting yourself with TV or social media. These are all signs that you're ready to do shadow work. But shadow work isn't easy. It takes courage. It can be painful to face parts of yourself you don't like or to admit mistakes you've made. Sometimes you might feel lost or confused in the process. That's normal. The important part is to keep going and not shut down or run away. When you do shadow work, you start to understand your emotions better. You see patterns in your life that you never noticed before. You might realize why certain relationships have been difficult, or why you feel stuck in some areas of your life. This self-awareness is powerful because it gives you the choice to change. Another thing that makes shadow work so special is that it leads to self-acceptance. When you accept your shadow, you accept yourself fully, flaws and all. You stop fighting parts of yourself and instead learn to work with them. This creates inner peace and helps you become more authentic. People with rare personalities often have a deep connection to their shadow because they are naturally reflective and open-minded. They aren't afraid to ask tough questions like, why do I feel this way? Or what am I hiding from myself? This honesty with oneself is a gift. Not everyone can do it. If you find yourself drawn to this kind of deep inner work, don't be discouraged by how hard it sometimes feels. Remember, every step you take into your shadow is a step toward becoming your true self. Carl Jung believed that facing the shadow is essential for anyone who wants to live a whole and meaningful life. So, if you feel this pull toward exploring your inner darkness, embrace it. It means you're on a rare path that few dare to walk. And in that journey, you will find strength, healing, and a deeper connection to who you really are. Number 6. You value solitude over attention. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to need the spotlight, while others quietly thrive in the background? If you belong to the rare personality type we're talking about, you probably fall into the second group. You don't crave attention. You don't chase likes or applause. Instead, you value something far deeper: solitude. Solitude is not the same as loneliness. That's a key difference to understand. Loneliness is feeling empty and disconnected. Solitude is choosing to be alone because it fills you up. It's a space where your mind can rest, where your heart can breathe, and where your true self can come out to play. Carl Jung, the psychologist who inspired this whole video, believed that people like you recharge through solitude. Unlike extroverts, who get energy from socializing and being around others, introverted and rare personalities often need time alone to process thoughts and emotions. Without it, you might feel drained or overwhelmed. Maybe you've experienced this yourself. After a long day surrounded by people, you find yourself craving quiet. Maybe you seek out a peaceful corner with a good book, or you take a long walk by yourself. That's not because you dislike people, but because you need to reconnect with yourself. You need silence to think clearly and to feel calm. In today's world, where social media pushes us to constantly share, like, and perform, valuing solitude can feel like swimming against the current. Everyone around you might be posting selfies, going to parties, or broadcasting their lives, but you prefer quiet moments, sitting by a window, watching the rain, or just thinking deeply. That's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's essential for your well-being. Solitude gives you the chance to listen to your inner voice. It allows you to reflect on your goals, your fears, and your dreams. When you're alone, you can be honest with yourself without distractions or judgment. This is where you make sense of your life and decide who you want to be. This deep relationship with yourself is rare. Many people are uncomfortable with being alone because it forces them to face thoughts and feelings they'd rather ignore. But you embrace it. You know that true growth comes from within. Solitude is your secret power. It also helps you avoid the noise and chaos of the outside world. Social events, endless notifications, and constant opinions can overwhelm anyone. But in solitude, you find peace. It's a safe space where you can recover your energy and clarity. Sometimes people might misunderstand your need for solitude. They might think you're shy, distant, or even unfriendly. But that's a surface judgment. You're simply someone who knows the value of being alone to recharge and reflect. There's a beauty in this choice. It means you're not dependent on others for your happiness or sense of self. You've learned to enjoy your own company, and that is a sign of strength. You might also find that your best ideas and deepest insights come during these quiet moments alone. When the world slows down, your mind can connect dots and see patterns that get lost in noise. This is where creativity blooms. Solitude is also a place to heal. If you've faced hard times, painful experiences, or heartbreak, being alone gives you room to process those emotions. It allows you to face your shadow self, the parts of you that are scared, sad, or broken without distraction. For rare personalities like yours, solitude isn't just a break from the world. It's a vital part of your identity. It helps you stay balanced, grounded, and authentic. When you give yourself permission to be alone without guilt, you open the door to deeper self-understanding. So, if you often choose to sit alone rather than be in a crowd, if you seek quiet over noise, know this: you are honoring your true nature. You are practicing self-care in one of the purest forms possible. And remember, solitude doesn't mean isolation. It means you're preparing yourself to engage with the world more fully and meaningfully when the time is right. In a noisy world, your ability to be alone and at peace is a rare gift. It makes you stronger, wiser, and more connected to the real you. Number 7. You're deeply empathetic but selective. Have you ever felt things very deeply, maybe more deeply than the people around you? You don't just hear what someone says. You feel their emotions. You pick up on moods and energy that others might miss. This is a sign of rare empathy. It means you're not just connected to your own feelings, but to the feelings of others, almost like you carry a part of their pain or joy inside you. But here's the interesting part. Even though you feel so much, you don't let just anyone get close. You're very careful about who you let into your emotional world. This might seem like a contradiction. How can someone who cares so much also keep people at a distance? The answer lies in balance. When you have a rare personality, you learn early on that your emotional energy is precious. You can't give it away to everyone. You have to protect yourself. Carl Jung called this the wounded healer. It means that often people like you have been hurt in the past, emotionally or mentally. But instead of shutting down, you chose to heal. And through your healing, you've gained a special kind of empathy. You understand pain not just from books or ideas, but from experience. This makes your empathy more real, more powerful. However, because you feel so much, it can sometimes be overwhelming. You might find yourself drained after being around certain people or in large crowds. This is called empathic fatigue. It's when your heart is so open and your mind so sensitive that you need time alone to recharge. This is why solitude is not just a luxury for you. It's a necessity. But don't mistake your selectiveness for coldness. It's not that you don't care. You care deeply. You just choose carefully. You give your time, your attention, and your love only to those who truly deserve it. People who respect your boundaries and who are willing to meet you on a real level. When you speak, people listen. Not because you shout the loudest, but because your words carry weight. Your kindness is quiet but genuine. You don't need to prove your worth through noise or flashy gestures. Your presence alone is enough. You may also find that you are drawn to helping others, not in a way that drains you, but in a way that heals you too. When you support someone through their pain, you also remind yourself of your own strength. This is the power of the wounded healer. You turn your wounds into wisdom. You turn your pain into compassion. And here's the rare truth. This kind of empathy makes you a rare gem in a world that often feels disconnected. Most people shy away from true feelings, or they hide behind masks. But you are brave enough to feel deeply, to care deeply, and to protect yourself wisely. So if you recognize this in yourself, the deep caring, the selective heart, the quiet strength, know that you are not alone. You are part of a small group of people who live with a rare kind of emotional intelligence. And this is one of the greatest gifts you can have. Remember, your empathy is not a burden. It is a source of power. It allows you to connect with others on a level most people only dream of. It helps you build meaningful relationships that go beyond surface talk and shallow connections. But always take care of yourself first. Protect your energy like the treasure it is. Set boundaries when you need to. Say no without guilt. Spend time in solitude to recharge. Because only when you are whole can you truly give your best to others. In a world that often feels rushed and disconnected, your rare empathy is a light. It's a quiet force that brings healing, understanding, and love, and that makes you truly special. If this video made you think, or helped you understand yourself a little better, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button. That way, you won't miss out on more videos like this that explore the deeper sides of who we really are. Also, if you found one of these signs true for you, drop a comment below and tell us which one spoke to you the most. Your story could inspire someone else going through the same journey. And if you know a friend who might feel a little different or rare too, share this video with them. Let's build a community of deep thinkers who want to grow and understand life better. Thank you for watching and being part of this journey. Remember, being rare is a gift. Keep embracing your true self.